Want to thank you for joining us tonight at this incoming ninth grade parent university. I just want to take a couple minutes to say thank you. If you're on here tonight, then that is showing us that you're committed to your child's education. And we're going to give you some great information of how to help them through the course registration process. You're going to hear from our current ninth grade school counselor, Mrs. Fewax, and our current ninth grade assistant principal, Mrs. Ferry. And they're going to give you a lot of really great information about how to get ready as one of the first steps for that ninth grade year. I always like to tell incoming eighth grade parents that your children have gotten a lot bigger than when they were in elementary school physically. And a lot of times they look like they're adults. But what I want you to keep in mind, a very important thing that you need to remember as they move into high school, is that they need you now more than ever. And I can't emphasize that enough. You might think, oh, they really need me more when they were little and in elementary school. And it actually is quite the opposite. They are going to tell you things. They're going to tell you they don't want you to be at certain things, or they don't want you to come to school. They're going to get a little snarky with you, and maybe a little moody sometimes. But what we need you to be as parents is resilient in your constant love and unconditional support of your children. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to have bumps and bruises, and we're here to support them with you along the way. And all we need for you to do is what you have been doing their whole life, but continue to do that in high school. Because it becomes very easy for parents to look at them and think, wow, they're young adults. They should be doing all these things on their own. And yes, there are some things that we're going to teach them in high school as a gradual release to being sound, productive adults out in our society, but they are not quite there yet. I liken them to a cake that maybe looks really beautiful and decorated on the outside, but it's not baked fully in the center. So they're still pretty gooey. So please keep that in mind and just keep supporting your children. We're excited to have them in our Coyote Nation. We have an awesome facility and incredible staff members that are there to help them and support them along the way for whatever their post-secondary goals are. So I just wanted to hop on tonight and say thank you so much. We look forward to working with you. And Ms. Fewax, take it away.
So good evening. I'm Christine Fewax. I am the current ninth grade counselor, and I'm going to be presenting basic graduation information with you, as well as the course registration process. So go ahead. There we go. So first of all, welcome to Coyote Nation. Your current eighth graders are also Coyotes there at the middle school, and some of them who had the pleasure of being on our campus for 6th and 7th. These, our mission, our motto should certainly be familiar to them, but we do certainly hold our Coyotes up to high expectations. We know that they can succeed, and we're certainly here to help them to succeed along the way. So certainly they're halfway through their 8th grade school year, getting closer to their high school career, and we're certainly ready for them to conquer that and to support them to be successful. So our overview of high school graduation requirements. All students who enter 9th grade have 4 years to graduate high school. So they have 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. All students who, when they enter 9th grade, they are defaulted to the standard 24 credit diploma. And as you can see, there's actually 2 diplomas shown on the screen. There's the 24 credit diploma, which is, like I said, the standard 24 credit diploma. It consists of 4 Englishes, 4 maths. One must be Algebra 1, another one must be geometry, 3 sciences. One of the sciences must be biology, 1 world history, a half a semester of government, which is paired with a half a semester of economics, 1 full credit of US history, a full credit of fine arts, a full credit of PE, 8 full elective credits. In addition, they must also have an online course, which is typically taken through our online school, Pasco eSchool. They must also have a minimum of a 2.0 unweighted GPA. They must also pass the Algebra 1 EOC and the ELA FSA. In addition, they must participate in the geometry, the biology, and the US history EOCs. Again, that is the standard 24 credit diploma that all students are defaulted to when they enter into the 9th grade. I'm not going to go over too much about the 18 credit diploma, but basically their difference is the difference of the 6 credits. So there's lacking the PE credit, and then there's the lacking of 5 elective credits. Everything else remains the same. But just to let you know why students may switch to the 18 credit diploma, first of all, it's a conversation that they must have with their counselor in addition to their parents. But typically, if students want to graduate early, or if they get to their junior, senior year and they're close to what we consider off track or at risk of not graduating, we may switch students to the 18 credit diploma. So course card registration. Your students, if they have not received the course planning sheet already from their language arts teacher, they should be receiving them soon. They're also available on our Cypress Creek High School website underneath the registration tab. So Ms. Vaquero, Alexa Vaquero, will be their 9th grade counselor for next school year. She will be visiting the classrooms at the middle school within the language arts classrooms to not only assist the students, but also answer any questions that they may have as well. So, but first of all, when the students look at their course planning sheet, we always encourage our students to not only have a conversation with their current teachers, but with you as the family and also with themselves to make sure, they're taking every consideration possible when it comes to their course path. So traditional, which is what we consider the on-campus students, will have to upload their course planning sheet to My Learning by Wednesday, February 25th. This is basically going to be a language arts submission through their My Learning portal, as well as any My School Online students. They're going to be doing the same thing. They're going to upload their course planning sheet to the My Learning language arts portal. Again, it's very similar. It's going to be basically a language arts assignment. The difference is going to be Ms. Vaquero is going to be visiting the middle school. As you can see the schedule, Ms. Walls on March 1st, Chatfield March 2nd, Lander on March 2nd. I'm sorry, that should say March 1st, 2nd. I'm sorry, yeah, that is March 2nd because the classes are the different periods. And then on Stock for March 4th. So those are the specific classrooms that Ms. Vaquero will be visiting. So if your student is in those language arts classes, they need to be prepared to input their course requests on those given days. Now, again, thank you. So prior to those days, they will submit their course planning sheet as a language arts assignment, okay? But when Ms. Vaquero visits the classroom, that is the actual day, they are going to have a computer in front of them with Ms. Vaquero and their current 8th grade counselor's assistants. They will actually be submitting those requests electronically with the computer via their My Student portal. Okay, so it's basically a 2-step process. They need to be prepared with their course planning sheet, submit that course planning sheet, but then when Ms. Vaquero visits their classroom, that is basically the second step and the final step in actually requesting their courses. And that again will be done electronically. The My School Online students, they will not be inputting their courses via My Student. Ms. Vaquero will be taking those course cards and submitting those requests on by herself. Only to the traditional face-to-face students who are actually in those specific language arts classes, she will be visiting. Those students will be submitting their requests via My Student Online. So when you're looking at your course planning sheet, please remember all students have a 6-period day, okay? 3 to 4 of their core classes, it's going to be determined upon their pathways, will consist of English, a math class, a science class, and a social studies class. So if you're looking at a 4 core class, English, math, science, and social studies, the other 2 class periods are going to denote as electives. No electives are guaranteed. So we ask students to please number their elective choices on their course planning sheet numbers 1 through 6. No X's, no check marks, okay? So we need to know number 1 and number 2 are going to be your priority electives. So those are the 2 elective courses that you really would like to take in addition to your 4 core classes. But again, as I said, no courses, no elective courses are guaranteed. So that's why you must also choose alternate electives. So those would be numbered 3, 4, 5, and 6. We highly encourage our 9th grade students to go ahead and get their PE requirement and their fine arts class out of the way in their 9th grade year. If not both of them, choose, number 1 and number 2 as the PE. Your Hope is a full year 1.0 credit course that will fulfill your PE credit. In addition to any fine arts class, all fine arts classes are 1 full credit. So a number 1 and number 2 for your electives ideally should be Hope and then a fine arts class. If you don't want to take both of them in your 9th grade year, that's okay, but we certainly want you to take one of those. So choose a number 1 or a number 2 as one of those classes. In addition, there is a course catalog. If you're not quite sure of what the fine arts classes or the PE class consists of, you can look at our course catalog, which the link is available on our CCHS website. And it's very, very, very important to remember that whatever your student inputs in during this course planning sheet time, the course request time, there are no schedule changes. Okay, so unfortunately, some students just kind of choose whatever electives they want. They don't really care about it. They just number things and they choose them, and then they get placed in those classes and they realize that's not something they'd really like. So we give them plenty of time by providing these course planning sheets, giving them plenty of time to talk to their teachers, to access the course catalog. And actually this year, we actually have links that are provided on the course planning sheet. You can click on, typically they're about a minute, less than a minute video. That's a great explanation that these teachers have put together to explain their courses. So it's just another added opportunity for you to get an insight of what class consists of, and that way you can make better decisions about your electives for next year. So the 9th grade course planning sheet, again, all of this information is on our CCHS website under the registration tab, registration 21-22, and then the 9th grade planning sheet. But here is a copy of it. You can see that we have pathways. There's educational pathways denoted. We have the traditional pathway, we have the college prep pathway, and then we have the advanced scholars pathway. It's not to say that if you start off in the traditional pathway that you have to maintain that pathway throughout high school. You can mix it up. You can take regular classes. You can take a couple honors classes. You can take a couple AP classes. You're not, it's very fluid. Okay, so you can mix it up however you'd like, but we do offer the 3 tracks and the 3 pathways. And we certainly want to encourage our students to push themselves and to be, give it a challenge, give themselves a challenge. But as you can see, they're blue links when you actually open up the course planning sheet. If you click on the link, there is less than a minute video to give you, like I said, an insight as to what that course consists of, not just the electives, but also the actual core classes as well. And just to reiterate, if you are stronger in English and you'd like to pursue an honors level English class, you can certainly do that. But if you're not strong in math, you can take a regular math class. Okay, so going into English 1 honors is perfectly fine. But if you're like, well, you know what, math is not my forte, then you can just simply choose Algebra 1 regular. Okay, if you're good in English and world history and you want to pursue world history honors, that's fine as well. But you don't want to pursue an honors science class, you don't have to. So you can certainly, like I said, mix them up. If you're interested in AP, I do know that we're having an AP panel tomorrow, I believe, to present to the AP information. Or if you have any questions about AP courses, you can certainly reach out to the counselor or Ms. Vaquero. So for any course any AP course that you're interested in, we do have a requirement at Cypress Creek. Students and parents are required to complete the advanced placement expectation agreement. So that you only have to complete it one time. And the agreement is located on our CCHS website underneath the registration tab. It's an electronic form. It's a mock form. You just click on the link. We also have a QR code that is available, and I'll show those at a few slides later. So it can be completed via the QR code or the actual link that's on the website. But it's just extremely important if you are requesting an AP course for next school year, and this is done every year, but specifically if you're requesting an AP course for next school year, the student and parent, please read the agreement very thoroughly. It's providing details as to what the expectations are of an AP course, and the agreement must be completed by March 10th. Must be completed by March 10th. If you do choose an AP course, and if your student and yourself completes the AP expectation form, but prior to March 10th, you decide, well, you know what, maybe we don't want to pursue an AP course next year. We want to put it off until maybe 10th grade year. You need to please reach out to the counselor and let her know prior to March 10th. And that way that can be changed as well. Also, please know AP classes do quite typically have summer assignments, and those summer assignments will be posted on the CCHS website once those do become available at the beginning of the summer. So again, also on our CCHS website, registration tab, these are the QR codes for our applications for our art application, dance application, theater, yoke program, band, and orchestra. In addition, you see the QR code for the AP agreement, as well as the actual links. So both, again, are available on the CCHS website. If you have a specific question about a course, you will also see on our CCHS website underneath the registration tab, it says department and program contacts. If you click on that, then you will see the specific names of the teachers and the actual course that they relate to and their email address. So you can certainly email them directly for any specific questions that you may have related to that course. So very important dates to remember. February 24th, that's the deadline for all students to submit their course planning sheet to their language arts teacher. The language arts teacher, again, like I said, they should be completing or creating an assignment via their My Learning page if they have not already done so. It should be uploaded here very soon. The week of March 1st is when our ninth grade counselor next school year, Ms. Vaquero, will be visiting the language arts classes there at the middle school. Again, Ms. Walls is March 1st, Ms. Chatfield is March 2nd, Ms. Landers is March 2nd, and then Ms. Stock is March 4th. The deadline for all AP expectation agreements is March 10th, and for any applications within those different academies is March 10th as well.
Hi, so my name is Mrs. Berry. I'm the assistant principal of the current ninth grade class, and I am helping with the registration process for our incoming ninth graders. So some Coyote reminders. Most of the students that we have, or you have currently, were once at our school, and so it's going to be very similar to what we've already had in place. We have a dress code that we enforce. And we also have a no tardy policy. So if a student is tardy to class, then they do automatically receive a referral. Wireless devices. Some teachers will allow them to use them in class, but when they're told to put them away, they need to be put away. So if they're not put away, then it's going to end up as a referral. We believe in PBIS, which is rewarding good behavior. And so we like to show kindness to one another, and it's very much a foundation of what we've built here at Cypress Creek High School. Some academic reminders is that we do not like to see any Fs. We don't want any students starting ninth grade in a hole. So it's very important that they do their best and get in all assignments. There are many ways that you can stay connected, and this is extremely vital to your students' success while at school. We have the school website. We have Twitter accounts, we have the Facebook page, and we also have the Class of 2025 page, which has already been started. The best way to stay in touch is through the Howler Hub. The Howler Hub is put out every Friday by Ms. Hetzler Nettles, and Mr. Light has something similar as well. And this is vital to stay informed to all the new and changing information that is on our campus. So this is our Coyote team. We have Mrs. Hetzler Nettles up in the top there that you just met. Over here, we have Miss Alexa Vaccaro. She's our 9th grade school counselor, or will be our 9th grade school counselor. And down on the bottom here, we have Mr. Rusty Copeland, who will be the administrator overseeing 9th grade. We also have a career specialist on campus. Her name is Jennifer Larimore, and she is our person, our go-to for community service hours, career advice, college advice, and she also puts out a hub that is available through our weekly hub. Our student services team consists of Jen Ware, who's our school nurse. We have Mr. Pat Behan, who's our school psychologist, and Miss Kelly Johnson, who's our school social worker. And all of our staff members on the student services team are regularly available to help any student that's in need. So we have a save the date for students entering 9th grade in 2021. It's July 29th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And this will be a great orientation to high school for our incoming students. So we're going to stop and we're going to answer any, well, actually, we're going to go into our breakout rooms right now. So we have advanced placement that will be coming with me. And then if you have any general questions or any questions about YOT, you'll be going with Miss Fewalks. I'm going to create those rooms now. Well, those rooms aren't working right now, so we can take questions in the general platform. So I'll answer any AP questions you got, and then Ms. Fewalks will answer any general questions.
So for students who did school choice, will we hear prior to those deadlines?
So I am told district has just finished up the actual process for it, and then they're notifying us of the students that are that have cleared the criteria, and we will start notifying parents shortly.
So for AP courses, what is the standard procedure? What do you recommend that they take?
So for 9th graders going into advanced placement, we do recommend advanced placement human geography because it's really a great introductory course. It's not overloading the student with homework that you would typically see with a regular AP class. And it really gives you kind of snippets of every single subject in social studies. You get a little economics, a little government, a little US history, world history, and it really provides the student with a way to begin studying, and it eases them into the process.
So basically just that one, the AP Human Geo would be the only AP course they would take in 9th grade, and then the others would come in subsequent years?
Typically, yes. Some students are able to take AP Computer Science Principles, but we do ask that they have at least an algebra in middle school before they take it, because it does require a lot of coding and math.
I cannot find the IoT and program in the registration page.
So YOT is going to be for students that have been invited by our SSAP teacher to join. And so he works with the people in the middle school class or the middle school principal and determine what students are best fit suited for YOT. And we're really focusing on creating leaders out of those individuals that are chosen.
So I'm looking at the planning sheet, and there are some courses assigned to each pathway. So Miss Christine was explaining like we can, so I kind of missed that. So can you please explain like if we can mix and match courses? So if we do, then which pathway it will be considered?
It doesn't really matter what pathway.
Mhm.
You generally, as I showed in the beginning, those graduation requirements, that's the ultimate goal. Students have to meet those graduation requirements as far as the English, the math, the science, the social studies, the electives, and so on and so forth. Now, it's up to the student as whether or not which path they want to take as far as what their post-secondary goals are. So that's what the pathways are kind of gearing students towards. So if your student knows that they want to apply to a very competitive, prestigious university after high school to where they really need a rigorous high school transcript, then that's the path that we're trying to direct them on. That would be the AP path. If they plan to go to a technical type school, or if they just know they want to maybe just go straight to PHSC or even the military, and they don't necessarily want to take rigorous courses, though they certainly can, and we're not going to hold them back from taking rigorous courses as far as like the honors and the AP courses, but they know that that's not really their prestigious or four-year university is not their goal, then they would typically stay on the more traditional path. But the paths are just really a guideline. It's not a matter of if you choose AP, that's where you have to stick the whole time. It's just more or less thinking in 4 years from now, what is your student's goal? And that's more of just a guidance of what they need to be looking towards in high school as far as the classes that they're taking. Because we do not want to have a student, when they get to their senior year and say, well, you know what, I'd really like to apply to, University of Florida or, a very competitive school, and then knowing they don't have the courses that those universities are really going to be looking for on their transcript.
Sure, that makes sense. And another quick question. So
Mhm.
selecting any AP course does require us to sign that agreement, which you explained earlier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mhm. And you only need to do it one time. So, sometimes we have students in the higher levels, of course, but we have students taking 3 or 4 AP courses, and you only need to complete it one time. But yes, as the students and the parents, and there's a spot for the students to, to sign, and then there's a spot for the parent to sign as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So there is a question in the chat about AP Human Geography. It does not count as one of the social studies classes needed for graduation. It is considered a social studies elective. However, we don't expect students to take human geography and take world history as well. So if they're taking AP Human Geography their freshman year, their next move would be into AP World History their sophomore year, and then AP US History, and then AP Macro and Government their senior year. Ms. Bradley, do you have a question? I see that your hand is up.
I do. I have a general question. Do you want us to hold it?
No, you can go right ahead.
So I have read through all the pieces, and I know that all kids are returning to school next year. So, is there any concern with having to shut down, if you've got all the kids in school? And then what is the contingency plan for having something online so that they can fall back on it?
Well, I think this year we kind of learned an awful lot, and we've adopted the Canvas courses, and teachers have updated those all very frequently. And my learning has a lovely thing in it. Now that they've built it, they can kind of save it, and then they can reissue it back out onto the Canvas platforms the following year. So if that ever does happen, I'm hoping that it doesn't, teachers will be well prepared for that.
I have a question about, I guess, some of the courses in general. Is there teacher recommendation required? We're at John Long, and it seems as though they are wanting teacher recommendation if they go to Wiregrass. So I didn't know if that mattered coming over to Cypress or how that works.
No, we do know Wiregrass does require teacher recommendation, but we do not.
Okay.
We do certainly encourage our students to talk with their teachers, because obviously their current teachers know their work ethic, their ability. We don't want to hold them back, but we do want to have those honest conversations with them, and to talk about what the expectations are moving forward. So no, we don't require teacher recommendations, but we do highly encourage the students to have conversations with their teachers.
Okay, yeah, we've done that. I just didn't know if we had to worry about getting signatures and
No,
things like.
ma'am. No,
Okay.
ma'am. Mm-mm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I do want to, I see a couple questions. So if a student is currently in a different school, should they still reach out to CCHS Language Arts? So if your student is currently enrolled in a feeder school, so typically there's several charter schools, Academy at the Lakes. I can't even think of all of them right now, but there are a lot of feeder schools. There's like 8 to 10 feeder schools that do come to us. The school counselor, the 8th grade school counselor there would have the planning sheets for your student if they had not already reached out to your specific student. If you're not quite sure, you can certainly reach out to Miss Vaquero and she can give you the best direction as to what the next steps would be. I think we talked about that. You talked about that. Okay, I think we covered all those. No foreign language requirement. So foreign language is not required for high school graduation. However, we do highly encourage students to take a minimum of 2 years of foreign language for a couple of reasons. One, if students plan to graduate, when they plan to graduate high school, if they plan to apply to a 4-year university, it is a 4-year university requirement for those 2 years. At the very minimum, 2 years of the same language. So Spanish 1, Spanish 2. Or we offer ASL, ASL 1, ASL 2. So it has to be 2 years of the same language. And then also for Bright Futures. So if your student plans on applying for Bright Futures, which means lots of money for college, there's different requirements, but one of those important requirements is 2 years of this foreign language as well. So again, it's not a high school requirement, but it's 2 important pieces for the 4-year university and then also for the Bright Futures. Great question. If they take bio honors in the 9th, would AP Bio be a separate class later on? Yes. So bio honors is, biology is a graduation requirement in general. They have to have bio honors or regular before they can go into AP Bio regardless, but it will count as 2 separate science credits. And they could go on and they could take bio and then they can go on and take AP Bio, or they could take the bio and then chemistry and then bounce back to AP Bio if they so choose. Ms. Ferry, are masks mandatory?
We have not been given any directive on what exactly the protocol will be in place for the following year. I think it's more of kind of seeing how the vaccine goes into effect, and we'll make plans and we'll definitely communicate that to everybody within the hub and through the all calls that you receive over the phone. Okay, so that is another good question about Spanish 1 and 2 being taken in the middle school. So yes, your student would have high school credits coming into 9th grade. So it's really important that your student understands the importance of getting a very good grade in those high school level classes in middle school, because that will begin to build his GPA even before he enters the door. So make sure he's getting that A.
Circle bio honors, or sorry, circle bio only. It's either bio regular or bio honors for 9th graders. So the difference between a regular course and an honors course is just the pacing. The curriculum is, the standards are the same, but honors courses move quicker. The expectations for students, they'll probably have more assignments, lengthier assignments, more projects, but the actual material that's covered is exactly the same. Have more questions?
So for the language credits in middle school, what's the required GPA for that language class?
Well, passing, you mean as far, well, a D, unfortunately a D is passing. And I say unfortunately because it's only worth one quality point, which does not equate to a 2.0, which is, is the average to the C, which is needed to graduate. So to pass the course, it is a D. However, students who earn a D or a C for that matter in a middle school, when they take a high school class in middle school, they can repeat or recover that course. However, we certainly want them to be more successful, hopefully, in that course so they don't have to. So again, I would say at least the minimum of a C, ideally, because again, it's starting their high school transcript. And we don't want them to start out in a negative, and a D definitely would be a negative because it's automatically below the 2.0 required GPA requirement to actually graduate from high school. And it does need to be Spanish 1 and then Spanish 2, because I do know middle school offers the middle school Spanish classes. So that's not high school credit. It has to actually be the Spanish high school course.
I do see another question about mask. Currently, all face-to-face students and staff members wear masks all the time.
Yes, so PE, this is always a fun one. Okay, so PE can be earned in many different ways. So your student can take the one full credit of Hope. It is a full year, it's a full credit course. It can be taken on our campus, or it can be taken through Pasco eSchool, which is our online school. This can be taken during the summer. Or if your student does not want to take the one full year course, there's other options. They can take personal fitness and outdoor education. Both are only available online through Pasco eSchool, and they can actually take those classes at the same time. So they can be enrolled in personal fitness online, and they can be enrolled in outdoor education online, be working on them simultaneously, knocking that PE credit out pretty much at the same time versus having to complete the first semester of Hope and then completing the second semester of Hope. Great questions. Any other questions?
So for the PE credit that you were just talking about, if that's something they want to do, is there a particular year that you recommend it? Like, would it be good for them to go ahead and do that this 8th grade summer?
Ideally, that's what I would recommend. When I met with my 8th graders last year, that's what I did. There's less to worry about. It's giving them hopefully a good start to starting their transcript for high school, because they're getting 2 easier type classes done. They're going to knock out their online requirement. Ideally, they earn an A or B in both of those classes, and it's just a nice start to a high school transcript. And then it's less to do and have to worry about later. And then, the counselor doesn't always, have to have you had your PE, have you taken your PE, have you taken your PE? So ideally, that's what we would recommend them do. They can either request the course at the very end of their school year in May and have their current counselor approve it, or if they want to wait until June and request the course through Pasco eSchool, they can reach out to Ms. Vaccaro. But I'm sure Ms. Vaccaro will be addressing that when she does visit the school at the beginning of March.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you mean by hope?
Hope is just the PE credit. It's health opportunities, something physical education. So basically it's the one credit that earns them the PE requirement. So it's a PE course. It's just a 1 credit PE course.
We have a question about musical theater. There is no prerequisite for the musical theater 1. We do, however, have acting 1 and theater tech. And we do ask that students have a middle school drama class before they take that.
What's required for the fine arts program?
There are no real fine arts requirements prior to entering into those programs. We just ask that the students submit the applications for those particular areas that they want to join. Our band classes, however, it is a good idea that they've had picked up an instrument before, because they are off and running and they're starting marching band as soon as they enter into the 9th grade.
So we have a question. What other class other than personal fitness be required? I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Again, I'll just reiterate the PE requirement. So personal fitness, if taken online, will fulfill half of the PE requirement. The other half of the PE requirement could be fulfilled by taking outdoor education, which is online. So that will certainly fulfill the two halves will equal the whole that's required for PE. If I'm not answering your question, I apologize, but you can ask and I'll be more than happy to answer. So Imagine Charter School, you can certainly talk to the counselor to find out whether or not your student is currently in a high school level Spanish 1 and Algebra 1. They'll be able to tell you that. Which classes on the course card count for fine arts credit? Pretty much anything under the Conservatory of Arts, anything within the dance program, the arts program, engineering, journalism, theater. We have a huge Conservatory of Arts programs. So anything pretty much in there is going to fulfill the fine arts requirement. Let's see if I'm missing anything.
For the specific musical theater question, I would recommend that you click on the department contacts page and reach out to our theater teacher, and he'll be able to answer that question probably a little bit better than I could, considering this is the first year that we're going to offer acting. So. And for the chorus question, we very much do have our chorus. They are singing socially distanced and they are doing very well.
No, unfortunately, we do not have keyboarding, piano classes.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
If we take the personal fitness class and then the outdoor fitness class, that would count as your whole PE thing, right?
Yes, absolutely. Personal fitness and outdoor
Also,
education.
Will those also count as both electives?
Nope. It's like that would like be double dipping. So basically, if you take the personal fitness and you take the outdoor education, those are both they're both semester courses. So 2 semester courses equate 1 full credit. So that's going to drop into your PE bucket. You have 8 separate electives that are required. So you have a separate elective bucket. So once you fulfill that PE requirement, that's good. Now, any other additional classes outside of your core and outside of the fine arts requirement that you need, everything else is going to go into your elective bucket. If you were to take additional PE courses, maybe in your 10th, 11th, 12th grade year that we do offer on our campus, then those will drop into your elective bucket since you would have already met your PE requirement and that bucket would already been filled.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if they wanted to do you said they could do the Hope over the summer, this coming summer as an incoming, is that something they get in touch with Ms. Vaccaro to set up? How is that arranged?
Yes, they could certainly reach out to Ms. Vaccaro, like probably latter May. or actually she has seniors right now. So let's postpone it till a little bit till June, or they can certainly reach out to their current 8th grade counselor, and their current 8th grade counselor could direct them as how they would go ahead and register for that course. And she could certainly approve them prior to exiting school this school year, and they could go ahead and get a jump on it, maybe like the end of May, once everything starts slowing down and they want to choose a start date for June. That way she can go ahead and get them approved, and then they'll be ready to go once school is out.
So just to check, so if you take the human geography course, you don't need to take world history?
You do need to take it. You just will not be taking it simultaneously. You'll be taking AP Hug. If you choose to take AP Hug as a 9th grader, you will then take your AP or your world, whether you take AP or just regular world history. That will be pushed into your 10th grade year.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Hi, how long is the HOPE program, the summer program? How long does that last?
Well, it's a full year course. So typically it's roughly 14 to 16 week course. So again, you're thinking about like a full year course, like a school year. Students, when they're taking courses online, they pretty much can work at their own pace. They do have a minimum requirement of, typically it's 3 assignments a week that they must turn in, but they can certainly work ahead of the game. I've had students complete HOPE within, like I said, it's roughly each 14, 16 weeks. I've had some kids finish it within maybe 10 weeks, 12 weeks. It really depends on the student.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So we have a question. If you're coming from out of county, what's the earliest we can register? So Hesa Perez, she is our registrar, and you can actually go to our website and click on the registration tab, and the documents that are needed that are required for registration are all there. It's very detailed as to what's needed. I believe we're going to start, or she's going to start making appointments for registrations for next school year. She'll start scheduling them for April. But so if you want to go ahead and look at the website, get all your documents ready, and then reach out to her probably within the next month, and then she can go ahead and get you on the schedule.
I was wondering if biology is the only class where you first take biology before you can take AP biology, or does that apply to other classes as well?
Biology is the 9th grade class, science class. So so biology, you have to take bio before you can take AP bio. Typically you have to take chemistry before you can take AP chemistry. The sciences run that way. I don't recall, I mean, there's electives that you do have to have prerequisites for, but for the most part, everything has a flow that they have to follow. Did you have a specific course that you're questioning besides the sciences?
I was wondering about the social studies classes, like AP World History.
So the AP World, you cannot double dip, so to speak. So if you take World History honors, you cannot then take AP World. If you take US History, you cannot then take AP US History. So the social studies classes are different. So you have to decide if you want to take the regular or the honors versus the AP.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.